This is Iraq. Iraq has been living days of protest against 16 years of corruption, unemployment, and inefficient public services. Before they escalated into calls to overthrow the regime, rewrite the constitution, and stop the Iranian influence in Iraq. In that dysfunctional government, political leaders from different religious or regional groups often take control of countries' resources, and then either keep them for themselves or dole out the profits to their supporters. It was estimated that between 2003 till 2006, over 600,000 Iraqis died from suicide bombing and non-military targets, as an attempt to sow chaos and sectarian discord. On the other side, the country was living in a massive deterioration in all public services. As such, roughly 40% of Iraqi middle class have fled the country, and that is about 5 million Iraqi people. Starting from 2011 to 2018, Iraqi people started demonstrating in various provinces in Iraq with a demand of changing constitution and changing election law, in addition to improving public services and eliminating Iranian influence in Iraq. Protesters were faced with suppression and random arrests every time. Coming to 2019, many small demonstrations broke out. The latest was in September when a group of holders of higher degrees organized a protest demanding reemployment. The protesters were faced with major suppression using hot water and random arrests. Also, the decision of Adel Abdel Mahdi to transfer the commander of the Iraqi counter-terrorism force, General Abdul Wahab al-Saadi, from ICTF to Ministry of Defense was viewed as an act of disrespect after being one of the major leaders of liberation of Mosul from ISIL occupation. These many events were the torch to stimulate years of suffering from this dysfunctional and corrupted government and started the current protest of 2019. The authorities have faced the demonstrations by internet blackout and shut down 75% of country's internet access. Scores of protesters have been killed and thousands wounded due to the use of live bullets, snipers, hot water, tear gas against peaceful protesters. As such, protesters began demonstrating against the government and regime. They are now demanding the resignation of Iraqi Prime Minister Adel Abdel Mahdi, preparing for early elections, rewriting the constitution, changing election law, cancellation of quota system, and having a parliamentary opposition to the designated government to be able to examine the government performance and actions and debating proposed laws. The one common demand in all previous demonstrations was changing constitution. Iraqi present constitution was adopted in 2005, drafted by Iraqi Governing Council with some American and international help. The present system intentionally gives a lot of power to the sectarian and ethnic-based parties recognized by US and Iran. It's a recipe for gridlock and an inability to legislate or govern. Serious reforms of current system is almost impossible under current constitution. Today, after 15 years of crisis created by this constitution and the continuous demands of rewriting it, it has become a necessity to change in the structure of this fragmented and sectarian political system, especially in current conditions in which military coup is no longer a solution.